The hardest circuit in each Mario Kart game, Rainbow Road, is the apex of the series and appears as the Special Cup final race. It appears in every Mario Kart game. 8 mainline Rainbow Roads have been created, plus 2 additional in the Tour games. It takes place in space, and all but one of the courses have no or few guardrails to keep you from hurtling into space if you make a turn. As it requires pretty insane skills, the record setters of Rainbow Road secured a prestigious place in the chart of world records. And in today's video, we'll take through the history of Rainbow Road world records. That being said, let's start. Having a mushroom is a significant advantage on many courses and may help you catch up to your competitors, but on Rainbow Road, where you utilize one, might be risky, especially if a tight curve is approaching. And if you manage to obtain a golden mushroom on the SNES version of the course, I truly wish you luck, because using one effectively and continuing to travel requires abilities much beyond mine. It is a track that separates novice players from seasoned experts, particularly when the CCS are raised. And if you can routinely win Rainbow Road at 2 CCs, I will doff my cap to you. However, as a player who prefers simpler games and game modes, I find that Rainbow Road offers so much more than just the difficulty of the game's most difficult track. It is consistently one of the most aesthetically stunning tunes in my opinion. Since 1992, hundreds of speedrunners have achieved record-breaking speeds by combining their talent with a variety of tricks, glitches, and shortcuts. Additionally, with each iteration of the well-known and colorful track, athletes had to come up with fresh ideas for cutting seconds and milliseconds off their records. In reality, almost every Rainbow Road version contains numerous leaderboards that frequently distinguish between runs that utilize shortcuts and ones that did not. Other leaderboards are divided by version and by nation. In the 1990s, players of the Mario Kart video game franchise established the earliest recorded Rainbow Road world records. Usually, the Nintendo 64 version of the game, which was published in 1996, was used to set these marks. A player going by the moniker of Bones established one of the early recorded world records for the Rainbow Road in 1997 with a time of 1:16.80. Another early record was timed at 1:16.20 in 1998 by a player going by JL. Since then, the Mario Kart series has seen world records for Rainbow Roads established on Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Kart Wii, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, among other titles. Numerous times throughout the years, players have pushed the boundaries of what is possible on the Rainbow Road track, shattering and setting several of these records. Koopa, a player in Mario Kart Double Dash, set the Rainbow Road world record in 2003 with a timing of 1:20.50. On Mario Kart Wii, a player by the name of PJ established the Rainbow Road world record in 2007 with a time of 1:21.90. With a timing of 1:21.73, a player by the name of Luppy broke the Rainbow Road world record on the Mario Kart Wii in 2008. With a timing of 1:21.47, Luppy broke another Rainbow Road world record on the Mario Kart Wii in 2009. Well, let me tell you that these records may not be entirely true, as in those days, gaming record keeping was not a norm. All of these records were accomplished on the Rainbow Road circuit, which is renowned for its difficult curves and twisting layout. It can take several tries to perfect this track and achieve a new record. Therefore, players who break world records on it frequently combine skill, strategy, and patience. Jamie White, an NTSC player who set 9 world records on Rainbow Road over 10 days in January 2003, was one of the most dominant runners in the early 2000s. He did not have any revolutionary new tactics. He was simply really skilled at the game and one of the top players Super Mario Kart has ever seen. On the PAL side, Geo and KVD alternated holding the record throughout 2005 before Kart 7 snatched it back. However, Sammy was the first verified record holder. KVD was consistently able to reclaim his championship because of his mastery of the zigzag boost. In June 2012, a player going by the name of Marissa uploaded an NTSC time of 1:20.351, along with a video as evidence on one of Japan's own leaderboards for the game. The driver just drove really well and used a tactic known as hot boosting to achieve this, which was more than a quarter of a second faster than the NTSC record at the time. Since you cannot generally construct a boost while hopping over a corner, gamers typically generate a boost by zigzagging on the straight route before a corner. To make this game just perfect, a tremendous amount of talent was required. In the late 1990s, an Australian runner called Alex Penev broke 10 non-shortcut records in a row for 6 full minutes. Players like Sammy and MJ traded it back and forth throughout the middle of the 2000s. Abney317 and Matthias Trust Meyer have recently ruled the non-shortcut side. Since Toad, Yoshi, and Peach are the game's 3 quickest characters, they are all used by these runners. However, the route has changed a little more in terms of shortcuts. World records were initially established by simply leaping at the beginning of each lap and then driving as skillfully as possible the rest of the way. By 1999, the record had been lowered to around 4.5 minutes thanks to these leaps, which each save roughly a half minute. But in July of that year, a player by the name of Miles successfully used a brand new technique for the shortcut, the spiral leap. you can just about make it over to the spiral on the left by performing a little turbo and then leaping as far to the left as you can over the railing. Even though it is tougher, this leap saves another 10 seconds or so compared to the previous one. By employing a more dependable but somewhat slower technique that includes stopping before the leap over the rail, Michael F. became the first person to hit 3 of them in a run in 2004. This record's recent history has been somewhat entertaining. Between 2000 and 2010, players Carlo and VAJ each held the record for a short while. Later Happening set the record with a 356.36 in the early months of 2015. He successfully executed the spiral leap 3 times while driving superbly all around. That moment would be remembered for over 3 years. A player by the name of Zoran defeated him in November 2017 with a well-beaten record from 3 years ago. Later on that day, Abney defeated him with a 350.607 to win. Zoran was not going to let anything get in the way of his progress, so he resumed his hard work, and amazingly, a few days later, he defeated Abney once more, the 350.602 this time. It was an amazing accomplishment to respond to the person who had held the record for 3 years in a row, an achievement that was only eclipsed by the fact that Abney immediately defeated him again later that day. Following this, Matthias Restemeyer defeated Abney for a few months in late 2018. However, on January 1, 2019, Abney regained the record with a time of 350.87. The record currently holds at that point. However, the current time is not so far behind in terms of records. The top 100 times on the famed Rainbow Road circuit range from Stacy Needham's 129.41 to Leviak's current record, which was proclaimed official on December 13, 2021. The Super Mario Kart records, which have been running since the mid-90s, are determined by a matter of milliseconds at this point. Amazingly, on December 6th, it was revealed that Leviak had broken the previous PAL World record on the Rainbow Road track with a blistering time of 126.50. This was good enough to keep Carl van Duijvenbode on second place until it was confirmed that he had broken the previous record by even more than a second a week later. The fact that this second world record is classified as Myth Plus, the highest ranking given to probable track timings by the Super Mario Kart community, makes it very noteworthy. Leviak is the first person to get an 80 out of 80 in the Myth Plus category in Super Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart only has 20 tracks, so you might be wondering how there are 80 different records to set. However, there is a good reason for this. First of all, single lap times and full race times have separate records, and because the PAL and NTSC versions of the game run at different speeds, they are each regarded as a separate challenge, resulting in a total of 80 records to set. If you are wondering how to run Rainbow Road, one of the hardest courses in the game, in under 1 minute and 27 seconds, the technique is primarily about hopping over turns and maintaining precise inside lines. If you didn't try the game even once, I would advise you to go play now. But before that, comment down your thoughts about this video. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. For more amazing videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel, and for more speedrunning related videos. Also, don't forget to press that bell icon. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.